Hey everybody, it's time for the October 2021 real estate market update, both nationally and locally. So the whole point in bringing this to you is that you have a constant sense of what's going on in the market so you can remain informed and make informed decisions. So without further ado, let's take a look. So Bill McBride of Calculated Risk, which is a finance and economics blog, says, my sense is the Case-Shiller national annual growth rate of 19.7% is probably close to peak, and that year-over-year price increases will slow later this year. And showing from a few sources what the year-over-year appreciation was for July of last year to July of this year. The HFA had it at 19.2%, the Case-Shiller at 19.7%, and then the CoreLogic was 18%. As you can see, pretty much everywhere, really everywhere in the country had appreciation. In fact, the lowest amount of appreciation appears to be here in Alaska at 8.2%. And here in Florida, we had almost 19% appreciation year over year. So according to Ivy Zelman of Zelman & Associates, their housing experts, closings are set to decline roughly 10% year over year in second half of 2021, and home price appreciation is on the cusp of flipping to a decelerating trend. So Pulsenomics, this is their estimate for home price performance. For the remainder of this year, they're seeing us at 11.74% appreciation, and then next year dropping down to 15.82%, and then a little bit less in the following year, a little bit less in 2024, and just about the same in 2025. So also with Pulsenomics, the expected home value change, showing it cumulatively through 2025 at 31.8%. So that's the amount of appreciation you could have in your home over the next 4+ years. So what about the fourth quarter of 2021? So according to Diana Olnick of CNBC's real estate, she's a real estate correspondent, fall is usually the start of the slower season for the housing market, but nothing is usual in today's pandemic-driven housing market. Potential homebuyers are seeing a slight rise in inventory and consequently rushing back into the fray. Mortgage applications to purchase a home jumped 7% last week from the previous week. That's the highest level since April of this year. So it is difficult to forecast home sales, but if you look at 2019, and it was below, just right around 5 million sales, and it kind of jumped up a little bit but stayed level, and then of course 2020 everything dipped way down and then it went crazy. But if you look at 2021, it's higher than what both of those years were in the early part of the year, although it's looking like we're going to be a little bit leveled off in comparison to the end of 2020. So if it continues on that trend. And then there's 3 reasons listings may continue to increase throughout this fall and into the winter. 1, pent-up selling demand. Homeowners may be more comfortable putting their homes on the market as more and more Americans are getting vaccinated. New construction starting to take off. There'll be more options for current homeowners to consider when they sell. The lack of options has slowed many potential sellers in the past. And then the end of forbearance will create some new listings. However, the end of the forbearance program will not lead to a wave of foreclosures for several reasons. Instead of going into foreclosure, homeowners will be able to sell their homes and have enough equity to more than cover the expenses of selling. So we won't see many foreclosures, but there will be some people who just haven't made the payments and they do have to sell their home in order to get out of it without really hurting their credit. So what about interest rates? So this is showing Freddie Mac is showing us what interest rates were starting at the beginning of last year, January 2020, 3.7. Quite a drop right into the beginning of 2021. And then currently we're actually a little bit above 3.01. Of course, it changes on a daily, weekly basis. But what's projected by 4 different sources is an increase. Freddie Mac 3.4 going up to 3.7 by third quarter of next year. Fannie Mae showing the end of this year 2.9. But you can see these across the board. The average of all 4 is they're predicting by the third quarter of next year will be at 3.55%. And then we put this chart together to give you an idea if you are considering making a purchase. This is a $440,000 loan amount. So at 3%, hovering close to where we are right now, your mortgage payment would be $1,855. So if interest rates go up to 3.75, that 1852, very close to 1855, your payment would only afford you a $400,000 loan amount. So just wanted to demonstrate that, how you can have a loss in buying power. And then homeownership is one of the fundamental keys to accumulating wealth in America, hence why it has been intricately linked to achieving the American dream. Not only can owning a home provide a roof over your head and a secure place to live, but because mortgage payments generally remain fixed while rents may rise over time, a home can also be a very effective hedge against inflation. Together, these features can give homeowners an enormous advantage over renters when it comes to accumulating wealth. The other thing is, don't forget, mortgage interest payments are still tax deductible along with real estate taxes. And then just to demonstrate, if you bought a home for $350,000 at the beginning of this year, by January 2026, your home could be worth $461,285. So thank you so much for watching, and take a look at the other video on what's happening in the Jupiter market.